And this next one's called Monsters. When my son was small, he used to worry about monsters coming round the door, and there was obviously quite a wide sort of pantheon of monsters. So when he had a bit of grit in his shoe, he'd go, "There's a monster in my shoe!" And I remember once there were monsters on the book, so I had to like slam the book shut and squash them, and he was very thrilled at the thought of them being squished and killed in this book. So it makes you wonder who the gruesome one is, really. And this is called Monsters. It's bedtime now. You've had your bath. I've shaken the monsters out of your slippers. You've had your milk. I've blown the tiny ones off your fingers. I read your bedtime story. Then I shut the book and squashed some more. I shooed the others away. I frightened them, and yes, they cried, and yes, they want their mummy. So you can sleep now. The house is safe. I'll lie awake as long as it takes to keep it so. I'll grind my terrible teeth, and even if monsters hover outside, frightened and crying and wanting their mummy, I will not let them in. He's now 7, he just lost a front tooth and he's on the wheel all the time, so there you go, it passes. I don't know how many of you saw Heroes, and I don't know how many of you were still around for the 3rd season. I know a lot of people dropped out. If you were, this will mean more to you than if you weren't. But if you weren't, don't worry about it, just take it as it is. It's called Sila and Elle. Into the midst of things more real and personal creep Sila and Elle. She is shaking with grief and rage. He wants to know if he can feel for someone else. He covets pain. So he approaches her, this girl whose father he sculpted some episodes back, and she cries, "You!" and zaps him. And again, "I'll kill you!" Zap. She hurls blue lightning from her palms. It hits him dead in the chest, and he falls back, his arms spread wide, a T-shaped allusion to something. Make that someone. The viewers know, and maybe love, and maybe pray to. Then, in case you hadn't got it, he gets up. He has no wounds to show, but he looks chastened, and his shirt's in charcoal tatters. "I understand," he coos. "You hate me. Let me have it. I can take it." She slings her hurts again. Again. The shirt is gone completely. His body twitches back to life, as we expect. He's keeping calm. He's kept his trousers on. Elle's given up. She's emptied of her hate. His work complete, Sila crawls to her, the blue sparks in his hands, all mended, and they laugh. I never want the scene to end, but it must. I want to do what Elle does, give it all to Sila, but I can't. And this next poem is the one that was in Rialto 69. It's called The Young Dead Poets. And I'm 40 now. I'm quite a lot older than Sylvia Plath was when she topped herself. I'm almost old enough to be Keats's mum, if I had an accident early in my school career. And you have this image of a sort of young dead poet maybe dying sort of decorously of TB or killing themselves. And then some of us are still around. You know, we're still around, still here, getting older. Now what do we do? And this is called The Young Dead Poets. Lovely cop-outs. They left us behind, tidying up in second-best bodies. Straightening backs and grimacing, then bending down to tidy again. Depressing chairs with leftover bodies. Deleting a line, then writing again. Straining not to repeat ourselves. Repeating ourselves. Repeating ourselves. Forgive us, please, for repeating ourselves, for being unlovely and not copping out, for staying behind to tidy up, to write, to fill the graceless decades. I've just one more. And part of what was behind the Young Dead Poets poem was not just being an older poet, but I was thinking about people who choose to leave early. And a couple of years ago, my brother chose to leave early, and which leaves one as a sister and an older sister. That with an awful lot of processing to do. And we've already had some fairy tales this evening, and they are very useful in times like this. There are lots of sisters and brothers or girl and boy pairs in fairy tales, or indeed in ancient myth, and quite often it's the brother or the boy who gets into trouble and the girl who sorts him out. If you think about Gretel pushing, for example, the witch into the oven and saving Hansel, or you think of what's that? The Snow Queen. The boy is called Kay. Can anyone remember what? Gerda. Thank you very much. You know, Gerda going and warming Kay's heart. That's like a brother and sister relationship. And then you think about in Egyptian myth, Isis putting Osiris together. And I was thinking about that, and I wrote this poem, Sister. She will harrow this town. She will turn him up, whole or in pieces. Being a sister, she knows that brothers are born to trouble. Her part is to rescue him. Lend him a heart to face his enemies, or failing that, confound them herself with withheld smiles, or with her sharp big sister's tongue. And if she finds them gone to ground, their damage done, she'll cut the losses for both of them, and seek him out, wherever he's lying, broken, and say, "Brother, there's no shame in one lost battle, or in 10. Put the file down, don't drink." And if it is too late for that, she'll scruff the man and stick her fingers down his throat, or find an antidote, or make her own, or heave time back, or failing that, and even failing that, she'll take him home, and never mind how small the pieces.